Welcome back to the Mind of Sai Marie. This is the mark of compliance. Tonight's episode is not an easy one, but it is a necessary one. We're going to speak on the life and the blood of Renee, Nicole Good, and Keith Porter. We're going to speak on the chilling ease with which a person becomes a vessel of evil simply by just complying with a system that has forsaken the fruit of the Spirit. If you are a follower of Jesus Christ, you need to listen closely, because the very spirit of the Antichrist is not just a figure in a future book. It is a mindset of harm and a narrative of order that is currently being used to maim the innocent while the church looks on and cheers. The murder of Renee Nicole Good, a mother, a Christian, and American citizen, at the hands of state agents, and the loss of Keith Porter are not just tragedies. They are fruits of a specific tree. When you see a government force move with murderous cruelty, as many have described this era, you see religious leaders rush to defend the agents rather than the victim, you are seeing a betrayal of the gospel. Renee was a legal observer, a mother dropping her child off at school. The system didn't see a child of God. It saw a target for dominance. And what is the world's response? Just comply. They tell the widow and the orphan to just obey, a system that is actively seeking to devour them. This is the very language the Bible warns about. In Revelation 13, we are warned about a system where no one can buy, sell, or trade without the mark. We often focus on the physical mark, but we miss the spirit behind it. The spirit, that mark, is the demand for total adherence to a worldly empire in exchange for security and survival. When Christians tell you to ignore the suffering of the foreigner, the maiming of the innocent, and the injury of the poor, all for the sake of national security or economic trade, they are asking you to take the mark of the beast in your mind and your heart. They are saying, forsake the law of Jesus, which is love, and take up the law of the state, which is compliance. They have completely missed the point. They are being led blindly by those who exhibit no kindness, no mercy, and no peace. They have become vessels of evil because they fear the loss of their trade more than they fear the loss of their soul. Jesus warned in Matthew 7:22-23 that not everyone who says, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom. He said there will be a day when people point to their works, their religious displays, and their political victories, and he will say, depart from me, you who practice lawlessness, I never knew you. Why? Because they traded the fruit of the Spirit for the power of the sword. They celebrated the wickedness of harming the vulnerable. To celebrate the injury of a neighbor under the guise of law and order is to practice the very lawlessness that Jesus was talking about. There is a time to speak out, and that time is now. Ecclesiastes 3:7 is ringing in our ears. We must remind the people that salvation does not rest on how well you follow the government. It rests on whether you picked up your cross to protect the least of these, knowing you might be killed for doing so, which is exactly what Jesus Christ himself did. Make no mistake, when the Messiah returns, he does not return to validate a political party. Revelation 19:15 says he comes with a sharp sword to strike down the nations that have rebelled against his love. That sword is meant to cut away the hypocrisy. It is meant to separate those who serve the land from those who celebrated the beast. We are called to fellowship, and we are called to service. We are called to be the ones who refuse to be silent while our brothers and sisters are maimed. We must stop being blindly led into the pit. If your faith requires you to cause injury or to tell a grieving family to just comply with injustice, then you aren't following Jesus Christ. You're following a wolf in sheep's clothing. Remember the blood of Renee. Remember the life of Keith. Let their names be a reminder that we are called to a higher law, the law of love. Stay convicted and stay awake. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Don't let the lie, and remember those words, the greater the lie, the more likely that people are to believe it, and the more that you tell it and reiterate it, the more likely they are to continue to believe it. And this creates an egregore, which is a bullshit lie that manipulates and bespells an entire population with global intent to completely invalidate the truth and make you question your reality. Do not give them the power to do so, for they do not have the authority unless you so give it. Remember the words, by consent of the governed, which are the first most important doctrine that even has any association with the foundation of the principal pillars of the United States of America. This republic by which it stands, this democratic constitution that we sit in right now, that is being completely eradicated at the foundational level to completely obliterate any form of standing upon the law, is exactly the reason why we are where we are today. And how dare you tell other people that they should comply with such wickedness? Let's go back to think about the reason why Moses even went to Pharaoh in order to tell him, let my people go. And please tell me what the difference is between the soldiers at that time, or even the Roman Empire soldiers who went about maiming, raping, and stealing from the people. And again, remind you that when Moses went to Pharaoh and said, let my people go, when they chose to flee Egypt, they were choosing to break the binds of their own enslavement, which was contrary to everything the empire wanted, and exactly the reason why Pharaoh sent more soldiers after them, even after decreeing that they were free to go. Understand that these types of governments, if you decide to obey and comply, you are doing exactly what the book of Revelation has warned you to look out for. And you are bowing a knee to kiss the ass of the Antichrist and every single aspect of the spirit that is what you are seeing now. So when Jesus Christ comes back, if you are a believer of him, you better be wary and understanding that if you continue to go down that path by choice, you are choosing and electing to follow and comply with everything that Jesus himself was killed trying to teach you not to do. And then ask yourself if you're actually an honest and loyal follower of the teachings of the Messiah.